It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
And this pop-up should end it. It's going to be Bodie at third to make the catch to end the ball game. So the Giants trailed, came back to tie, and then the big blow by Ian Happ in the top of the 10th.
Dwayne Kuiper on the call, NBC Sports Bay Area. Giants take the L yesterday, and I decided to start there, something local. Did not have the draft pick selection, or I guess we didn't really cut it yet, but the Golden State Warriors are the biggest story today and what they're going to do going forward. And we have so much to break down in the world of sports, hell, in the world in general, but we're going to keep it to sports. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Joe Spadoni in here for the next hour. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want you to just come in, sit down, relax. Don't have to worry about any of the political stuff. Don't have to worry about all that other crap that's going on in this country. Lord knows you have enough to worry about at 5:01 a.m. And it's a Friday. Not a payday Friday, but it's a feel-good Friday. It's a Phil Collins Friday. And it's a sit back and relaxing type of a Friday. 888-957-9570 is the number. Giants take the L in extras against the Cubbies as they were going for the sweep, the mop, the 4-game sweep. Not just any sweep, but we call it the mop now. I guess that's the thing. But they fall 5-3. Ian Happ, 2-run jack in the top of the 10th. But, hey, you'll take that 3 out of 4 heading into a massive series against the Los Angeles Dodgers starting tonight. And I want to hear from you if you're going to that game, 888-957-9570. Good morning to you people, all you people, not just, I don't mean you people. You guys know what I mean. Listen via the Odyssey app. Download that bad boy, favorite 95.7 The Game. You can take us anywhere you want to go if you got Wi-Fi. Or if you're just a baller and you have that like 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G network, whatever you're on, download that and thousands of other stations. It is free, once again. Also, you can find us if you already have YouTube, Twitch, Twitter downloaded on your phone. Just search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there to any of those channels. That's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. So we are streaming. You can see this beautiful face at 5:01 a.m. Yes, the mustache and nose is real, and it's spectacular. You know what else is real and spectacular? The drama going on in the NBA after this took place.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
Bronny James. That wasn't as dramatic as I wanted it to be because I'm playing my drops right now.
Oh, my God.
Thanks, Mike. You left me hanging. That was supposed to be what it was. It's all right. We'll workshop this. No one's listening, right? Bronny James is a Los Angeles Laker, and he's going to be playing with his dad next year. Wow. There's a lot of emotions people chose to feel yesterday, and it was interesting, to say the least. Some host at the station getting very upset and wondering, what the hell are the Lakers doing? How could you do this? The Warriors would never do this. They're not a soap opera. Calm down. It's not that serious. It's a 55th pick in the second round, which, again, I was talking about this. It's basically the equivalent of a 6th or 7th round pick. More like the 7th. So sure, can you find a Brock Purdy in there? Yeah. Or you might not find anything. So I have no problem with the pick. If you really do, if it's upsetting you, I would really like to hear from you. 888-957-9570. Please tell me why it was such a horrible thing for the Los Angeles Lakers to select Bronny James, the son of a guy who brought their franchise back to relevancy after it was torn down, chewed up, spit out by the Buss family LeBron James graciously came over to you, won a title, brought you back to relevancy, brought Anthony Davis in, and now he wanted you to draft their son. I think that's a fair trade-off. Don't you? And before we all get high and mighty about it's nepotism in its highest form. Nepotism's everywhere. We had Kirk Lacob on our station yesterday. Kirk Lacob, working in the NBA front office. One of the best jobs in the league. What's his qualifications other than being son of the owner? And I love you, Kirk. I'm not poking fun at you or anything like that. But come on. Let's be realistic here. Thanasis Antetokounmpo? Come on. Let's be adults here, please, and not act like nepotism isn't everywhere. In any company, I'm sure there's some in this company that I'm not aware of. I'm sure there's some wherever you're you'll find it. And yes, it helps get a leg in, and it got Bronny's door opened into the NBA. What does he do with it now? We'll see. Because if he doesn't play well, then yeah, he's going to be a G Leaguer. And he's going to have the opportunity early on, whether that's at the Cali Classic, if he's playing for the Lakers next weekend. Chase Center, Lakers. Ooh, it'll be fun. Will he be playing against this guy? And when I say this guy, I mean Waiters the Third. Yeah, that guy. Quinten Post. Or is it Quinton? It says Quinten. I think it's Quinton Post. I liked what I saw from Post, and I'm not going to lie. I don't know anything about these guys. I watched some highlight videos like I think most of us did yesterday. If you are a big Boston College fan or deep cut Oklahoma City Thunder fan, by all means. But Lindy Waiters the Third, and I don't think it's Waters, could be wrong, is a Golden State Warrior after the Warriors initially traded the pick for Waiters the Third, ended up getting the pick back, and then ended up getting Quinten Post by way of Boston College in that second round. So a lot to make out of, really not a lot. So go with that, what you will. 888-957-9570. Yesterday was just so nuts. I'm just wrapping my head around it. I'm going to be honest with you. At 5:08 a.m., there was so much happening in the world and in sports. And I'm just, what is going on in our country right now? I'm just keeping it a buck. And yeah, I'm not even talking about the presidential debates. U.S. men's national team. What the hell was that? I mean, to hell with our leaders in America and who's going to lead us into oblivion. Whatever with that. We lost to Panama yesterday. We got a red card like 20 minutes. Bronny James is a Laker. Ramona Shelburne's on our station saying, pump the brakes on Paul George. Now Paul George seems like a long shot for the Warriors. Guy's named Quinten Post. Lindy Waiters. All right. We'll try to soldier on and just try to create something out of all of this. And I'm going to do my best not to be squirrel and jump from place to place to place because a lot happened yesterday. We had Steiny and Goo at Warriors HQ. Again, doing a hell of a job. Kirk Lacob and Trace Jackson Davis joined them live on the spot. You can find both of those interviews on YouTube or the Odyssey app. Just search 95.7 The Game on either of them. Like, subscribe, all that. So, Quinten Post, born in Amsterdam. So, Dutch. Are we going to have a Flying Dutchman reference potentially next year with Fitz? Mississippi State, 2019 through 2021. He got Boston College for 3 years as well. So, he's older. He's 24. And he's ready to go. And I think if you're the Golden State Warriors, that is what you need. But the most important thing that I've yet to list is the height. 7 feet tall. He's fluid. He's not a stiff. He can shoot the three. All right. And again, size. And as we all know, Size does indeed matter.
Size matters.
Thank you, Fitz. I almost said Brian Fitzgerald. Bob Fitzgerald going to be on the call for Team USA, by the way, for the Olympics taking place next month. And next month is obviously in a couple days. But I believe they start reporting Team USA, Steph, Klay, check that, not Klay, Kerr. Klay formerly on the team, though. Because he did win, by the way, a title and play for Team USA, he does not qualify for Team Bahamas, who he's been working out with. So he couldn't even play for them, obviously. His dad, Bahamanian, Michael Thompson. But Steve Kerr and Steph Curry, LeBron James, all the rest of them, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, getting ready for Paris 2024 next month. And I can't wait for that. That's another thing to talk about. I cannot get enough content here with all of you. And again, good morning to all of you just getting off work, getting ready for school, getting ready for the weekend. It's going to be hot next weekend. And it's going to start getting hot on Sunday. So if you're the inland, if you're Walnut Creek, Concord, North Bay, Santa Rosa, hell, if you're in Sacramento listening, wherever you are, if you're in the East Coast and it's humid as hell, I mean, you guys got air conditioning, so I'm not really too concerned about you. But wear that sunscreen, all right? All my light brothers and sisters, or if you're not light, wear it regardless, all right? Skin cancer happens in all ethnicities, all right? Be safe. Runs in my family. I can't just lay out there anymore. Got to be mindful of this stuff as I get older, all right? You know what else teams had to be mindful of yesterday as I transitioned to just a weird day in the NBA. You can call it something else if you want. I'm just going to call it weird. Bob Myers, Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, doing the draft coverage. Listen to what the former president of basketball operations for the Golden State Warriors, Bob Myers, had to say when all this Bronny stuff, before the Lakers even selected him, before all of that. Listen to Bob Myers on what he said about Rich Paul, who obviously is LeBron James' agent and, by association, Bronny James' agent.
Rich Paul's calling teams, don't take Bronny James. He's telling them, do not take him, okay? He's saying, don't take him. If you take him, he's going to Australia. So he has a plan and he has a place.
But he's not telling the Lakers.
I don't know if he's telling one team that.
Mark Tatum.
That's, go to Australia? Come on. I would have liked someone to call his bluff. Maybe it was like can you imagine the Charlotte Hornets? We'll take them. Whatever. It's just, why not? Now, they're not going to do that because Bronny James is a good enough player coming out of college for people to be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't think Rich Paul even needed to say that, to be honest. Now, he had to make sure Bronny was going to the Lakers. He had to cross everything off. He had to dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and do the due diligence with all the teams that even called in and say no. He had to ensure LeBron James's son fell to the Lakers. And that's what happened. And the Lakers took him. And again, I'm sorry. If you're outraged by that, I don't know what to tell you. And I'd like to hear from you. Maybe I can talk you off the ledge. I could calm you down. 888-957-9570. For those of you who are up in arms about Bronny James going to the Lakers. Oh my God. Relax. Please. Nepotism is everywhere. Doesn't make it any less right or wrong. It just happens. He's got privilege. All of us have some sort of privilege one way or the other. Maybe you don't. Maybe you feel like you don't. Bronny James does, and he's got his foot in the door now. Let's see what he does with it. I'm curious. I'm going to be honest. If you are in the Bay Area next weekend, I'm sure some Warriors fans are going to be curious. They're going to go watch the Warriors' young players, obviously. Lindy Waiters, Quentin Post. You're going to be watching some of these guys in the California Classic. And you're also going to be watching Bronny James, who's going to be in attendance. Bronny James is going to, bring some celebrities up. It's going to be a thing now. He is the son of LeBron. The expectations of LeBron? No. Is he the next King James? No. Is he going to live up to the expectations that he has on himself? We'll see. His expectations, I don't think, are to be his dad. And spoiler alert, we should never try to do that to ourselves. Never try to be someone else. Try to be yourself. My words of wisdom here at 5:15 a.m. June 28th, 2024, the year of our Lord. Be yourself. It's really that simple, and especially as Pride Month is ending. Do you, as I always say. Don't be someone else. And that's what Bronny's not going to be. He's going to try to be his own guy, and try to be his own player, find his own spot. And if he can find a particular skill, like Liam Neeson did in Taken, if he could find that particular set of skills that can make him useful in the NBA, go ahead. Maybe he is the rah-rah guy. Maybe he is a little bit undersized, but you know what? He's fast, he's quick, he's got a high jump, strong, maybe he could be a good defender, scrappy. Everyone could use one of those guys. Everyone. So I'm not closing the book on Bronny that early like some are. And for the Lakers, do I think that, it's a bad look for the Los Angeles Lakers that LeBron James runs the show? They gave him the keys to everything. Spoiler alert, the stars control everything. That's how it's always been. And yes, if you want to keep your stars happy and you want to keep LeBron James a Los Angeles Laker, if it meant drafting his son coming out of Southern Cal with the 55th pick in the second round, sure. Also, the Lakers have been known to actually be pretty good at drafting in recent years. So maybe, just maybe, Bronny's good. And yeah, Austin Reeves was undrafted. Worked out pretty well so far. Got paid. Alex Caruso, once upon a time, I know, was in their system. He kind of broke out through the South Bay Lakers. I know he was drafted to the Oklahoma City Thunder and played for their G League affiliate. But you can go to a plethora of picks in recent years that have worked out. Hell, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, Kyle Kuzma. Go on and on. Julius Randle, still playing, got paid. So their history in drafting players that have sustainability in the NBA is thorough. Now, when it comes to LeBron James and controlling the Lakers and all that sort of stuff, don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house, Warriors fans. Don't talk about certain players running amok and running rampant unchecked in a given organization. Okay? Let's not do that. Because I can think of one guy who does that for the past, what? Going back to 2016? What was that? Game 5? Oh. Say it ain't so. Come on, man. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Is it?
Shocked you talking to me.
Come on. Like, what are we doing here? All right. That's enough about Bronny. If you want to talk about it, that's fine. 888-957-9570. I just thought the overreaction to I saw it from a lot of people. But Monty Jones included, who I respect tremendously. I've talked to him on the Morning Roast a couple times. Very good at what he does. I have a tremendous respect for his knowledge and craft and how he goes about his business. He wasn't a fan. He used the word, I can't spell it, but poop in regards to it. It's embarrassing as blank. That's what he said about us. I don't really think it's that embarrassing. Personally, I don't. But what do I know? What does Ramona Shelburne know about this Klay Thompson situation? That's what I want to know. ESPN senior writer, been there for quite a while, and she is very tapped in with the league. Joined Willard and Dibbs yesterday. This Klay Thompson situation may get resolved soon. Maybe, hopefully.
There are only a couple teams with the cap space, right, to sign him to something like a little larger. And I think the cap space dries up pretty quick, right? There's only a couple teams that would fit there. And then everything else would be sort of a mid-level, right? So there's not much to decide except for where you want to go. I think the Warriors do have an interest in bringing him back. But, is that happening before they deal with the other 4 or 5 options that are out there? I don't see that. I think they have a few other things to try to get done that may or may not happen, right, before they deal with Klay. And let's see how long he waits.
Let's see how long he waits. Something that, keep a Post-it note on. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP opting out of his deal with the Denver Nuggets. He's expected to sign elsewhere. Maybe the Orlando Magic target him. Got a little bit left more in the tank. Hasn't had a major injury like a Klay Thompson. Obviously, was just with the Denver Nuggets last year when they won I always do this thing where it's like last season. Well, it was last season with the Celtics winning 2 seasons ago. Let's say last year, calendar year anyways, when the Denver Nuggets won their first NBA championship. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was a huge piece of that, and he's looking to get paid. And could that be from the Orlando Magic, who had Malik Monk circled? Maybe they pivot to KCP. And if that doesn't work out there, then maybe, just maybe, they overpay for Klay Thompson. But that is something to check on when it comes to Klay Thompson's market. People are going to value KCP more than him, I would think. Now, if you feel that that's wrong, 888-957-9570. Are the Warriors potentially interested in a KCP? Can they even afford anything like that? Well, here's Ramona Shelburne talking about if plans fail, needing to look to other pieces potentially.
How big of an overhaul can you do? How much is it about, giving other people different roles? How much is it about completely recasting the team? I think they have a lot of different plans. They put, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? I don't know where they are on the plans that might work or not work. Like I said on NBA Today the other day, name a high-profile trade target, a free agent. They've made some calls. Kevin Durant, they've called. Paul George, they've called. Right? I mean, this is where they are. Every big name, Larry Markkinen, they've called. But you can't make other people trade you things, the players, right? If they don't want to, you can't always find the right match there. So I think it's what can they actually pull off? We'll see.
And if they were to pull off something big, Ramona, would they use Jonathan Kuminga or Brandon Pajemski potentially as trade bait?
I would say Kuminga. Everybody asks for Kuminga and Pajemski, and the Warriors say no. Like they don't want to include those two young guys in any trade. Now, is there a trade that could move that needle? I'm sure there is. There's Giannis or something, right? But it's pretty close to untouchable. In terms of Kuminga, and to some extent Pajemski.
I mean, to some extent there with Brandon Pajemski, right? Like, if you're potentially trading for Paul George, as I'm looking at Get Up right now, and does Paul George make the Warriors NBA title contenders if they were to trade for him? Paul George leaves. I don't see Paul George opting out at all. He's going to opt in. He's going to get traded somewhere, or maybe he stays. I think we keep sleeping on that possibility of Paul George, a guy from Los Angeles, staying in Los Angeles and using all of this as leverage. He loves the fact that Get Up and all these places are talking about it. It's trade boost, value boost, all that. There's a huge possibility he just stays. And where do the Warriors pivot then? If it's not Paul George, is it back to Klay Thompson? I think that ship has sailed. Again, it's icy now between them. According to Anthony Slater, who covers the team, Klay Thompson's relationship with the Golden State Warriors, it's icy. It's not good. You ever try to hold on a piece of ice or an ice cube for like a minute? They made us do that when we were doing birthing classes, like and doing all the breathing exercises. Yeah, men, I want you guys to hold this ice cube so it'll simulate kind of the pain that the women is. Well,
that doesn't sound that bad at all.
It's actually very uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. It's just, try it, Sam. Go get an ice cube in the freezer.
How long do I have to hold it for?
Like a minute, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 5. I don't even remember, until it melts. I was very uncomfortable holding this thing. But you're supposed to simulate, pain of some sort. I was like, nah, that's, for some reason, I don't think holding an ice cube is the same as pushing a child out of my womb.
Well, it's definitely worse, right?
Well, some say, men are babies. Some say that, kidney stones are just as painful as giving childbirth. I'm just saying.
No, but in all seriousness, yeah, childbirth, probably the worst.
Well, probably. I don't know. I will never know. So how could I say that? I can't speak on it. Hey,
Possibly.
Thank you, Kyle. I can't speak on things I don't know about. All right. They say it's very painful. How painful? I'm kidding. I have 2 kids and a bunch of problems. Yeah, we got the epidural both times. I know it's painful. And Jade, that's my lovely wife. She's got like 30 tattoos. She's got some gnarly ones on her back and some painful spots. Girl knows pain. She's gone through it. Hey, I love you.
Gamer.
She is a gamer, and I'm never getting a tattoo. I'm never going to have a child. Well, I had 2 killed. You guys know what I mean. We're off the rails here. It's fine. It's a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. It's a
What
Phil
is
Collins.
going on here?
I don't know, Fitz. We're having a good time. All right. There's too much crap going on in this world and in this country specifically. We got guys measuring their golf handicaps. We've got Team USA losing to Panama. Alex Morgan is being left off the Olympic team. It's tough right now in America. It is. We got this happening.
Rich Paul's calling teams, don't take Bronny James. He's telling them, do not take him, okay? He's saying, don't take him. If you take him, he's going to Australia. So he has a plan and he has has a place.
But he's not telling the Lakers.
I don't know if he's telling one team that.
Mark Tatum.
By the way, Ryan Russillo of The Ringer with the tweet of the night. During the debates, ask him about Bronny. That would have been so good. This is just in, guys. Bronny James, son of LeBron, 1-year player out of Southern Cal, getting drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Your thoughts? I'm not going to do these.
He's a tremendous player.
I was going to say, I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do it this morning, but he's got a lot of potential.
Who's Bronny?
It's just, exactly. We're so, I gotta laugh through the pain. We're doing it together, guys, aren't we? We just got to get through this. We're getting through this show one way or another. 888-957-9570. Are you outraged by Bronny James owning the Lakers? Let me know if you are. 888-957-9570. Your thoughts on what the Warriors did yesterday. Quentin Post. All right. We'll see. That's all I'm going to say.
Yay!
This is the same as the NFL draft for me. I don't know. Like, I would like to know their names. Did I watch Lindy Waiters III on Oklahoma City? No. He was a undrafted player at Oklahoma State, played for the Cowboys from 2016 to 2020. Got size, but he's another guard. He's a shooting guard. Warriors got enough of those guys. Post is the guy that's interesting to me because he's a big and he can shoot the 3. That's awesome. Yeah. Apparently, James Wiseman rumors have been circulating around. Well, maybe the Quentin Post selection kind of put that to bed. Would you still want James Wiseman back, by the way, if it's on the cheap, Warriors fans? 888-957-9570. More of your calls, more of your texts on the Phil Collins Friday on the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
I have a busy house, a kid, a wife, a baby. It's just going crazy. And the drain is constantly at work, collecting hair, food scraps.
question.
Phil Collins Friday here. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni with you for two more segments before handing it off to Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky. It's a feel-good Friday here. Non-payday Friday, but that's okay. We're still gonna gut through it. All right? Lindy Waiters III, get to know him. Warriors' newest shooting guard in Quentin Post, by way of Boston College, formerly of Mississippi State. The Flying Dutchman, Quentin Post. Not Tarantino. Not a lot of Quentins. Never met too many Quentins before. Not that I've met Quentin Tarantino, but Quentin Post. I like the name. I like the look. I like the size. We'll see. With any of these guys. As I'm looking at Bronny James highlights on the TV. And again, 888-957-9570. Call or text. Is anyone outraged? From the 415 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. I am not outraged by Bronny James getting drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round. Pretty cool that he gets to play with his dad. Yeah, even that withstanding. And yeah, that is part of it. Like, I think that's cool. Some people don't. Some people are like, why is that cool? Why? Why do you think that's cool? Like, it's just like, well, I'm a dad, so maybe I think about it differently than other people. Being able to play with the son. Listen, I saw Bomani Jones's tweets, his line. He was responding, and I thought he brought up fair points. Like, you think it's cool that this guy's going to be, with his dad. Now he's his own man. He's in the NBA, but he has to be sharing hotel rooms. He has to be sharing all this. I was like, yeah, for what? 2 years? Maybe. If Bronny even lasts that long. That's what we're doing. Come on. Let's relax a little bit. Is Bronny James going out? I mean, what is he? 19 years old? How old is he? 20? Come on. The word embarrassing I saw, I don't get what's embarrassing about it. People are embarrassed by it, by all means. But I chose not to get out. There's certain things, as I've gotten a little older, and I got 2 kids and a dog that has one eye and he barks a lot. Shout out Miles. I just wanted to say he has one eye because he's one-eyed Miles. That's what we call him. Technically, he has 2 eyes, but he has this condition that it's like a genetic thing. Like one of the eyes is it's too small, so it just doesn't open, so he has his eyes shut. Like Sleep with One Eye Open. We always sing that song to him too. Gripping Your Pillow Tight. No? Anyone? Sandman? Come on. Metallica, Bay Area, baby. But there's certain things that I choose to get outraged by, and I'm just not going to let this one be one of them. And I already laid down the reasons for it. And if you want to be, again, I do want to hear from you. I really do. From the 619 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. Nepotism, LOL. What a joke. Again, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. From the 206 on the Xfinity Mobile text line. We're kind of all over the place here with some of these area codes. Hey, Bronny James, that's what he does, baby. That's what he does. We're also nationwide. All right. Bronny James might end up being a good player, but it kind of is embarrassing the way that he was covered. Embarrassing. You have to realize, and we're talking about him right now. And yes, I'm talking about more of Bronny James than Quentin Post or Lindy Waiters III, because let's be honest, those names sound like G League kind of players. And Bronny James might end up being a G League guy. And hell, Quentin Post, could he make the team? Could Lindy Waiters make the team? Sure. Possibly. Bronny James is the son of LeBron James, who has been a media darling for the NBA, for sports talk, for everybody. So it is a story. He is one of the few guys that in and of himself, you could just talk about and you will draw attention. You can't do that with everyone. Like, in this market, Draymond Green is definitely one of them. Jimmy Garoppolo was one of them. I think Brock Purdy is going to be one of them going forward. And yes.
I'm happy with Brock Purdy.
I know you are, Bonte. It's coming up here in 23 minutes. It's a story. And yes, he's going to get covered differently. He's going to get treated differently. Now, when he's in the NBA, is it going to be like a Caitlin Clark situation where people are going to try to humble him real quick? Probably. Probably they're going to be smack talking him. They're going to be saying stuff like, oh, your dad's not here to help you. They're going to be, oh, she didn't deserve to be in the NBA. That's going to happen. And he's going to have to show them. Like, he's going to have to pick it up here. It's not going to be easy. I'll tell you that right now. And it's not going to be easy, I don't think, for LeBron either. I think he's going to be happy about it in the moment. But then work gets started. But I do think having a father with the work ethic of a LeBron James, and I've seen Bronny James's, at least on workout videos, guy's also gone through a major health crisis within the past, year and a half, whenever that was. I mean, the guy had a heart attack. Now, that's been fixed. He's been medically cleared. He's fine going forward. They fixed whatever the murmur or what have you was. But, yeah, it's pretty damn scary. So, if you can get through that, this might be small potatoes. All right, back to the Warriors. Ramona Shelburne talking about, and by the way, Ramona Shelburne via Willard and Dibbs, find that entire interview on the Odyssey app or on YouTube. Asked if the Warriors could hold off on major moves that everyone saw in the playoffs a couple years ago, because that is still a thing. And I do wonder if there is a team out there that looks at it like, man, if we can just get Wiggins back to just a little bit, a semblance of what he was in that all-star year with the Warriors, can he just be 75% of that? I think he can put us over the top for a title. Is there a team out there that feels like that? That's going to be the question. If not, he's probably going to stay a Warrior because they're just not going to dump him for nothing. Although I've been on this, I do think his presence at times on the court is just draining, whether you're a fan or a player, a teammate. His head's in it, his head's not in it. His head's in it, it's not in it. I don't know what it is. I'm just talking about strictly the basketball player. I'm not going to talk about off the field or off the court stuff in his personal life. I'm not going to get into any of that. I'm strictly talking basketball, and it's draining to watch the guy. It is. And can they get that turned around, twisted, inversed, back to the old Wiggins of that stretch? Or is this just going to be the status quo going forward? If I was a betting man, I'd say last year was kind of a sign of things to come with Andrew Wiggins and what he's going to be. He's going to be consistently inconsistent, and that's who he is. But maybe another team sees something different, and they're willing to get, I don't know, first rounder and maybe a role player. But again, it has to fit what the Warriors are trying to do, and they are not just going to dump Andrew Wiggins for nothing. And if they did, I would be a little bit shocked by that, even though I think they should have moved off from him at the deadline when his value was still a little higher, in my estimation. 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text. Are you outraged by Bronny James? What do you think of the Golden State Warriors moves yesterday? Lindy Waters III, Quinten Post, some undrafted free agents that I will give you on the other side as well. Plus, it's a Phil Collins Friday. It's a feel-good Friday, and it's a take a deep breath, America Friday on 95.7 The Game.
The Alameda County Fair is June 14th through July 7th. Catch that summer feeling with all your fair favorites. Tickets and info at alamedacountyfair.com.
When selecting a financial institution, how do you know you're making the right choice? As Bay Area bank customers find themselves at a crossroads, maybe it's good to consider if you want your bank to be community-oriented or corporate-minded. Fremont Bank has grown by providing stable, consistent service to the region, its families, and its businesses for 60 years, all without a single...
It's Friday here, pregame show. Yo, Spadoni. It's in my head now that we're not supposed to say the pregame show. That's what Nahigian says, the program director. Don't say the name of the show when you come back. Well, my name's not attached to it, so if we can get that, that'd be great. I don't have to keep saying it, but I have to keep saying it. I don't have my name attached to it. That's okay, but just, that's why I keep saying it. It's okay. Good morning to all you lovely people just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for a beautiful weekend. It's going to be hot next week, folks. Again, wear the sunscreen, drink the water. Enjoy the coolness now because it is going to get toasty for 4th of July week. Man. And it feels like it hits hotter here in the Bay Area than other places. I know it's hot damn near everywhere else around the country, but especially here, man, it just, the humidity, everything, it just skyrockets. Also, the lack of air conditioning in most places because really, we don't really need a lot of air conditioning most time of the year. I don't want to waste the money on it. God, Lord knows I have to pay for so much other crap. I'm not paying for air conditioning. Use a fan, kid. Open up the freezer for a little bit. Actually, don't, because I was going to waste more money. All right. More of your calls, more of your texts. Start lining them up too. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, 12 minutes. They're fired up as well. A lot took place yesterday. Giants took the L to the Chicago Cubs in extras. 5-3 loss. They're taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers for a 3-game homestand this weekend. Not really a lot on the line. Dodgers have won 4 straight. Padres have won 3 straight. The Giants had won 3 straight. Fall there. Giants still 4th in their own division, though. Half game back the Arizona Diamondbacks. 3.5 back from the San Diego Padres. And 12 back of the division-leading Los Angeles Dodgers. So, big series there heading into July. And then we got the dog days of August. Then final stretch in September. And then we'll see where the Giants are at. In the meantime, Golden State Warriors drafted Quentin Post yesterday in the 2nd round. Quentin Post, by way of Boston College, played there for 3 years. Prior to that, he played for Mississippi State for 2 years. 52nd overall pick, 7 feet tall, 245, fluid, got a 3-point shot, can block the shot. I think he's going to work out well with the Golden State Warriors. Easy enough for me to say that after watching some highlight videos. But I think his size and presence can provide a tremendous impact on this Golden State Warriors team. Now, it's up to him. It's up to Bronny James. It's up to all these guys. They got their foot in the door. What do they do with it? Hey, no one expected Trace Jackson Davis and Brandon Pajemski last year to be major focal points in the team's offense and defense down the stretch, but TJD blocked Giannis a few times. Like, oh, okay, this guy's for real. Brandon Pajemski just got charge after charge after charge, kept drawing him. It's like, oh, okay. Was a solid ball handler. His 3-point shot was solid. Like, they hit doubles, triples. I'm not going to say a home run yet, but they're definitely singles at the very least with Mike Dunleavy. And they hit on Trace Jackson Davis and Brandon Pajemski. Speaking of TJD, he joined Steiny and Guru yesterday live from Warriors HQ talking about Klay Thompson. And again, this is just going to be a story that we have to keep an eye on. The relationship right now between Klay and the Warriors is reportedly icy. Nothing has been worked on in regards to a contract situation. If the market plays itself out, maybe Klay will just be coming back to the Golden State Warriors if the market is not there for him. Or does he take a spite deal? I think that's kind of possible, which is crazy to say with how things ended last year. TJD, they all want Klay back.
I feel like me and him built a great synergy on the court. We played really well together. But at the same time, it is a business. But I loved having Klay as a teammate, and I'm eager to see what he decides because obviously we want him here. I think everyone in the Bay wants him here. He's a Golden State Warrior, so hopefully we can get that worked out. But at the same time, it's a business, and he's going to do what's best for him. I don't think people understand just how good he is. And the reason why I'm getting wide open dunks is because they're putting 2 on the ball almost every time, because if he gets just a little bit of space, he's going to hit an open shot. And so a lot of the dunks that I had were because of him. And so, yeah, obviously you like playing with him just because of that. You get easy dunks or he's going to get a wide open shot.
So TJD, a big Klay Thompson fan, but that everyone's a fan in the organization, but they're a fan at the right price, especially if you're Kirk Lacob, if you're Mike Dunleavy, and if you're Joe Lacob. And Kirk Lacob also sat down with Steiny and Goo yesterday and talked about if Klay Thompson in this decision to whether bring him back or him to move on is the toughest that the organization has had to deal with.
We've had a lot of tough decisions over the years, and I think it's important to remember decisions aren't usually one way. They're two-way. There's more than one party involved in any decision. Look, we absolutely love Klay. We want him here. We want him to finish his career as a Warrior. Like, we're unequivocal about that. Just got to try to see if we can figure this thing out. And, I think we all hope he's ready to come back and we can make something work with him, because he is just such an important part of what we built and what we want to continue to do.
Listen, Kirk Lacob did very well yesterday with, I call it the general manager or the head coach word salad. There he said a lot of things that, we're kind of generic and paint things with a broad brush. And that's what he's supposed to. He's not going to reveal his cards. He's not going to say, yeah, you know what, we offered him this and then he didn't take this. Now sometimes that's leaked out to the media in regards to putting pressure on a guy like Klay Thompson. You saw that with Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers with contract negotiations, which apparently they're in better spirits. They had a good conversation, all reports indicated, when it came to Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers and that ongoing saga there. We'll wait and see what takes place. If I was a betting man, I think he comes back. I've always thought Brandon Ayuk was coming back to the 49ers. I never thought they were going to trade him after the draft was over. It just didn't really make sense. Does he play on that, 1-year deal basically? And then are they going to try to franchise him tag next year? I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how things play out with Brandon Ayuk. But as it pertains to Klay Thompson and Kirk Lacob and the Golden State Warriors, they're keeping things close to the vest, which is kind of the status quo under Joe Lacob. They don't want to reveal their cards, whether it was Bob Myers or whether it's Mike Dunleavy. And here is Kirk talking about having to be realistic about dealing with certain issues in regards to salary, in regards to trades, all that sort of stuff.
So I think, every team has it. I think you just have to be realistic. Stuff's going to happen. So you can't play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game, because everybody's going to play that. What it really tells me is every part of our organization has to be better. We have to get better players on this roster so that we have more margin for error. Our coaching staff has to do a better job so that, whatever happened last year in these games doesn't happen again. I'm not saying it's their fault, but this is their job as coaches to figure out a way for something not to happen again. And all of our players, as they do every summer, have to go and work harder and try to see what they can do better, fill the holes in their game, see how they can fit with the other players on the floor better, see if they can do things that our team is missing. And if, those 2 out of those 3 or 3 out of those things happen, we will be better. We've had seasons where we've won the championship and 15 minutes later we're sitting there saying, how can we be better? So, I don't think anyone should question whether anyone in this organization wants to be better if that's the standard that we've set. Right. You win a championship and you want to get even better the next year, how can you think that we're okay being the 10th seed and winning 46 games? That's not in our blood. I mean, from the beginning, it's been, we don't use the word good, we use the word great. So there's a lot of pissed off people right now, and we got to help make them not pissed off.
That's a great way of putting it. And we hear from those pissed off people daily here at 95.7 The Game. And they're mad because they care. Because Joe Lacob and Kirk Lacob and everyone involved in the Golden State Warriors organization have created such a standard that they have to live up to that now. And when that standard starts shifting, that's when, things start getting worrisome for the fans. What is the standard for the Warriors next year? Is it still title? Now, Kirk might say that. Is the dynasty over? Well, Monty Poole, who covers the team for NBC Sports Bay Area, said the dynasty ended back in 2020 when Kevin Durant left. And he had a couple down years, didn't make the playoffs, and then you won a title. But Kirk Lacob does not think the dynasty is over.
Everyone wants to say a dynasty is dead. The reality is your story is not done until it's done. There have been lots of cases where a team takes a couple years and doesn't win. You can't win every year. We tried to do that. We came close. But realistically, you can't win every single year. But just because you don't win one year doesn't mean you can't retool, get better, come back. I mean, we've done it once already. And I know people want to, put the nail in the coffin right now and say, no, this time it's over. This time they're done. Right. We don't believe that. We believe we can still get at least one more with the current group. And then, why would we stop just because some players retire or something? We still are going to try to win a championship. It gets harder when you don't have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. It definitely gets harder. but that's always the goal. I just think it's very easy to write a team, and I would do the same thing, by the way. We do the same thing. Every time a team loses, they're done. Next summer's going to be impossible for them. And look, people probably said that about Boston. Said, oh, that was their one chance. They didn't do it, and look at what they did. So it's on us to get better, but by no means do we think the dynasty is over. You don't get to say these are the years of a dynasty until 10 or 15 years later.
Right.
And so to us, we're still in it, and we're going to try to win the championship this year, next year, and the year after.
Well, it's all subjective. And again, Kirk Lacob there talking with Steiny and Guru. Find that entire interview on YouTube or the Odyssey app. Both are free to download, subscribe, all that. All powered by First NorCal Credit Union. A dynasty, by the way, it's always subjective, right? Do I think the Spurs are a quote-unquote dynasty? I thought they had an extended run. I don't know if I'd call it dynastic because they had never went back-to-back. You kind of have to go back-to-back to be a dynasty to me. Now they've gone to back-to-back NBA Finals, obviously going back to the Miami Heat days when they took on them. Obviously, Ray Allen hit the shot. The Miami Heat go back-to-back, then face Spurs again. Spurs won that one. Rest is history. But I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors right now, and from what I'm hearing, and listen, it's early, maybe they make a big trade for Paul George. Who knows? But I think they are hoping for a lot of these players to take another step that I don't know if they are, A, capable of making, and B, if they are capable of it, doing it as fast as the Warriors need them to do to win another title with Stephen Curry being their best player. I'm not sure if that's possible. But I do know that they are trying. Everyone's telling us they're trying. But are they going to whiff? It takes two to tango. Is Paul George doing all this posturing just to stay with the Clippers? And then where do you pivot? Doesn't look like Jimmy Butler's going to leave Miami. Maybe he does. Who knows? What's the next move after that? Is just bring back Klay Thompson? We do know you just can't run it back. That is not an option. Because if they run it back, then it's over. It's done. 888-957-9570. It's not over and done. The weekend, which is coming up, and I hope all of you have a lovely weekend, and Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky on the Morning Roast. It's just beginning on 95.7 The Game.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to